Well, now here we're going to start off with the DSS V7. So I'm working on the latest version, by the way. It's 6491. And again, the whole thing concept here is how to connect with your Mac. And I'm going to be using 10.7 and accessing on SMB. And also we'll demonstrate for AFP, Apple Talk Filing Protocol, to connect with the Mac to ADS with the shares that are located on the DSS V7. One of the first things you want to do is create your NAS share. So I'll briefly demonstrate that. This is located in Configuration, a Volume Manager, and in Volume Groups. And then once we arrive in this area, you want to go on the left because you already created a unit, which here we're going to be using the unit S00, which will be our volume group, VG01, that you see here on the left. And I'm going to click on that. We're going to go right into the Logical Volume Manager. As we scroll down, I've already created a NAS volume, but you can see you can create many types of volumes, iSCSI, fiber channel, snapshot volumes. But for ease of use, it's real simple. You just scroll down to the Action Pull Bar menu, and you'll see that by the default, the NAS volume is right here. Here you can also, again, create new iSCSI volumes and fiber channel volumes and snapshots. You can also modify them for their size as well. But for what we're going to do is just do something very simple here, just to show everybody that I'll just do something simple, 10 gig. Of course, it could be in terabytes. I hit apply, and this will add on to another logical volume type and be listed into the volume manager. So here you'll see the new one I just created, LV0104, and that's going to be populated in just a second. And here you go. Right after you create your NAS logical volume, then what we really want to do is make sure our DNS settings are set in the DSS. So here we're just going to go to Setup, Network Interfaces, and if you notice right down here, I've already put the DNS settings for pointing to the ADS server. Now this is important because what DNS on our side is going to do is going to go back to the ADS server and be able to point to that. So when we connect and authenticate, that's the IP address we want. So you want to make sure that your ADS server's IP address is located in the first set here. Now you can enter other DNS IP addresses. Just use a semicolon and then enter the IP address of the other DNS server that you want to add into your settings here. And once that's completed, go ahead and hit apply. And then from there, what we want to do is go ahead and authenticate with the ADS. So here we'll go to Configuration, NAS Settings, and here you'll see the authenticated method right here in these fields. And I'm going to be selecting the Windows ADS. And then on my realm, my ADS server is called support.local. So you want to be able to enter that in. If you have a company name, you might want to have whatever the company name is, .local. And again, this is the IP address of the ADS server, so please place that in there. And then, of course, we have the administrator account. So this could be a domain admin, also some type of administrator. So let's go ahead and enter our password. So we'll go ahead and set that, and then we'll hit apply. Now, the other functions down here you'll see is allow trusted domains. If you have domains that you have trust relationships with, you can import those users from there. Also, the erase TBD, which is basically a database of the users and groups. When you are wanting to get an update or clear it out, you want to use this option to be able to clear out that database and start off fresh. Now the ADS server is updated on the DSS. As you see, we just completed the authentication. Typically this is done every 15 minutes. So if you add a new user in about 15 minutes, you'll see that new user in the DSS users and groups section. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here we go to Configuration, we go to NAS Resources and Shares. And we've already got a couple shares in here just for demonstration purposes, but remember that NAS logical volume I created? Well, let's go take a look at that. It was LV0104. So I can create a share here called data, and I can apply to that share for that logical volume that we created. So here we'll just hit apply. And on the left, you see all the users and groups that were imported from the ADS server. So that tells us that we were communicating properly to that server. Now, once you create the share, let's take a look at test. You want to make sure that the user has access to the share. So here you want to make sure for the test share or any of the one we created, data, the same thing. You want to make sure that SMB settings are on and visible or not visible. And of course, we have users with passwords because of the ADS server. Also, for the AppleTalk filing protocol, we want to make sure that is also enabled, and you just hit apply. As we scroll down, we'll see I added myself, the share for Todd. I can add other users, guests, and just bring them over with the button through the granted access users section, and then hit apply. So again, for that share that we created, here we can do the same thing. We can go into the share and start making our edits. So here by default, the SMB is enabled, and we already have these settings that do default. If you want to change them, you can on the fly. So we don't need to change anything there, but we do need to enable the AppleTalk filing protocol. Now, I must say that let's say you don't see this, it's probably due to because if we disable it in the NAS settings here, by default, all these file protocols services are not enabled. So you want to make sure they're enabled before you go to the share, because you'll notice the share won't have that feature. Just go back into NAS settings and then scroll down to that file protocol to enable that service. And then once you're in there, then you go ahead and create your share, and then you'll see that that file protocol is available for the shares that you create. So here we'll go ahead and set this. And we'll just say with password. And that's pretty much it for the DSS side. So you can see it's pretty simple. What we'll do is we'll bring up the the Mac system that we have here. One of the first places I'm going to go, I'll just drop this down so I can show everybody, is that you want to go to System Preferences. And we want to make sure that the network settings, again, we're back to the DNS settings. So let's go to the network. And we need to go to the advanced settings because we want to change and make sure, because we want to put the DNS server as the IP address to the ADS server. So we'll go to advanced and we'll select the DNS function. And here it's empty. I left it in there for empty for a reason to show everybody. So we want to put the IP address of the ADS server. And here we'll put the plus sign, which enables it. And now you see that we have our DNS server, which is pointing to the ADS server. Now we're going to go ahead and put the domain. If you remember, it was support.local when we entered that into the DSS V7. All right, so let's go ahead and hit the plus sign. And now we're completed with that portion. So once that's done, then we can, let's go ahead and apply our settings. We can then go ahead and connect to the DSS. And so let's go ahead and close this out. We'll go to the Go section where we can connect to the server. Okay. Now, I've already put some settings in here just to show you, but you really want to pay close attention to this. So what you want to enter here is you want to have SMB : / support, that's pointing to the ADS server domain, semicolon, because now we're going to state for the user, so the user will be Todd, and of course the @ sign separating to what is the IP address of the DSS server that we're going to the share. And here you have the IP address and then / the share name, which is called test. And then we'll click on the plus sign. And now let's connect. So right now it's using the SMB file protocol, authenticating through the ADS server of support, and of course the IP address to the share. And as you see, you're right connected to your share. So it's very simple. But we did get a lot of users asking questions about how to do this, and we thought we'd create a very simple format for you, everybody, to be able to quickly connect to shares via the Mac using SMB. Now let's take a look at AFP. Now AFP is the native protocol for Mac, so this should be fairly simple for a lot of Mac users, but for those who are new and just learning, we'll go ahead and demonstrate that. So let's remove this so we have a clear idea of how this is going to work. It's really simple because in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to take out the username and the domain. And we're going to replace the SMB with AFP for the Apple Talk Filing Protocol. So here we'll go AFP, colon, in this case it'll be colon, slash, slash, forward slash, the IP address, and then of course the share name. And let's hit the plus sign, and let's connect. Now, I did this for the reason for the AFP because we're going to be doing it through Apple Talk Filing Protocol. So here we want to put our password in. And you see we have our share and the files and directories. And that's how simple it is. So if you have any questions, please email us at the pre-sales@open-e.com or log into your support and send us a question that you would like to have answered. And also you can contact at any of our offices. Thank you, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the webinar. Take care.